Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here, driving home from my way to work. Last night was the Raw after WrestleMania. It was headlined by a dark match between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Easily, two of the biggest names in WWE as of right now, if not counting Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. I saw that after the match, Cody got to beat Kevin Owens, and then Cody got to be the one to give the speech to the Monday Night Raw crowd and, sort of pep them up and say thank you for the big week that WWE had with WrestleMania in Dallas. Thanking all the people from Texas, thanking all the people from Dallas, thanking everybody that came in on the travel package. I understand. I get it. Cody Rhodes coming over from AEW as of right now. He is Vince McMahon's, precious, new toy that he paid a lot of money for, and he's going to feature him until he looks at it and he's like, wait a minute, this is Cody Rhodes, the same guy that we had that was in Legacy, the same guy that was wrestling with a mask on his face. Oh, dashing Cody Rhodes. When he left, he was wearing face paint, wrestling with his brother as Stardust. Vince, I think is trying his best right now. I think that they're trying to, put Cody Rhodes in a huge light, and he thinks that he's one of the biggest stars that there is in wrestling. I love, Cody Rhodes. I like his matches, I like his promos. I like him himself, and I'm rooting for him. But to me, just the track record with Vince and WWE just doesn't really work out. When the match first started, Kevin Owens came out, him and Cody Rhodes hugged, sort of showing that the love they have for each other. And, people, talk about the fact that when Cody was leaving, Kevin Owens is the one that told them to, hook up with the Young Bucks, and they would sort of show him the way and made sure that he hit the independents running in the right direction. I understand Kevin Owens is a heel, but if you go back to WrestleMania 28, when Daniel Bryan, the Yes, Yes, Yes movement was first starting, he had lost at WrestleMania to Sheamus in the matter of seconds, getting kicked in the face. And then they didn't even put him on the Monday Night Raw show, even though everybody was chanting for him, especially during the John Cena promo. They brought him out in a 6-man tag, where I don't even remember. I think he was out there with it was like I can't even really remember who that go home 6-man tag was. I do remember that Big Show was out there and he was doing the yes, yes, yes chants. And Bryan was out there, but I can't remember, who else was out there. But, Daniel Bryan at the time was wrestling as a heel, and he got to be the guy that's to send everybody home and say thank you for WrestleMania. He even announced that his t-shirt was going to go live on WWE Shop the next day. And wanted everybody to make sure they bought it so they could capitalize on this movement, and he could be a star in WWE. I think as of right now, if they're not talking about Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens is the biggest star in WWE. He should have been the one to make that speech. Kevin Owens, as of right now, even though he wrestled a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin and lost at WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin at any time in the last 19 years could have come back and wrestled anybody at any time. And if he would have came to Vince and said, I want to have a match, I'm sure Vince would have given him a match, honestly, against anybody on the roster. Vince could have put him in a championship match and capitalized putting him up against Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, which I'm sure has been pitched 1,000 times. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, storyline or not, wanted to have a match against Kevin Owens. And the basis of that match was Kevin Owens insulting the people in the state of Texas. that was really all it took for Stone Cold Steve Austin to say that he was going to come back and whoop some ass. You know, Roman Reigns is running around basically saying that, you know, he's the best guy to ever hold the championship in WWE. You know, he's having the best reign. And that doesn't even, you know, scratch the itch of Stone Cold Steve Austin to want to come back and have a match with him. So to me, honestly, I think Kevin Owens is the biggest name in WWE. To bring back a legend like Stone Cold Steve Austin over 19 years, he should have been the guy to deliver that speech. I'm sure he's been in that place before. It wouldn't have been, you know, anything else. I understand that the Cody Rhodes thing, but that's right now, like, kind of like just because he's like the fresh thing there. Kevin Owens, I think, is the biggest name. I'm surprised that he wasn't the guy to do it. But I guess if you're going to put Cody out there in a dark match to wrestle his first match back in WWE, well, shit, he wrestled at Wrestlemania, dumbass. But, you know, to have another match to be there, I understand what it's like. I mean, I've been there. Monday Night Raw, you're kind of sad. Because you know that your trip is coming to an end and you're flying home the next day. You're also sitting there and you're hoping that you get a good show to validate the, you know, how much money you spent on your wrestling vacation. I think everybody, if I knew how to edit, I could flash up that picture of me that they put. Man, I was not having fun that night at Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 32. I was hoping I was going to see Gallows and Anderson. I was hoping I was going to get to see Nakamura. And nothing. I got nothing. And I think I knew when Shane came out, or when Vince came out and told Shane that he could run the show, even though Shane had lost the match, and that was the stipulation at WrestleMania. It made no fucking sense. It just like kind of was like, oh yeah. Everything we built up, you know, to make sure you had a good show for WrestleMania 32, all of it out the window. Just, you want to run the show, go ahead and run it. I don't know. We all been there, but yeah, that was me. I just was saying, you know, I love Cody and all, but man, I think it would have been cool if they would have gave that moment to Kevin Owens to say goodbye to that crowd.